Hi. Yeah, so I just got home from work. I'm over here like totally ripping the squad right now. This is not how I roll. So uh, let me disrobe here and get down to business to defeat the Hun and all that jazz. Um, yeah, this is gonna get a little awkward. Sorry. Ooh, yay! But there's some things I want to discuss today, not concerning Instacart. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take all that off. So today I'm going to again introduce myself. My name is Xiao. I am a radio DJ and a voice actor in training, voice actor in need of job. Onegaishimasu. But yeah, this is my vlog. Welcome to my world. Talk about things that I want to talk about because I'm bored and I have lots of dishes behind me. But those are clean. Those are clean. So we're in business. So basically, what's gonna happen is um, I'm gonna record a vlog every day, and I'm gonna upload it onto YouTube. And this vlog is also gonna show up on my website, xiaoxing.us. Um, and it's gonna typically center around things that I find interesting about Texas, about anime, about manga. I'm more of a manga reader. About Japanese music, Korean music, music in general because I'm a freaking addict. It's awful. Um, Maybe future I would try to get some people to come say hi to everybody. But for now, it's just gonna be me and you and you and me. That was awkward. Anyway, today's topic is this right here. He's my only vampire. Um, so this guy right here, this is Aki. Aki has a twin brother. His twin brother is in a state of unconsciousness for reasons I don't know yet. But I read volume one, and it basically throws us into the shambles of life here because the the format of this book is kind of weird. I'm just gonna turn it around because it'll be like a little bit easier. Um, I'll hold it up here so you can like read that, and also I'll tell you this is Aki, and this is his thrall, Kana. So now you're asking me, what the hell did you just call that woman? A thrall? So that was weird to me too. Um, those two, Aki and Kana, are childhood friends that were separated by trauma. There was a fire, and Kana kind of blames herself for it, but it wasn't really her fault. She has like a trauma of fire, so fire in general scares the shit out of the poor girl. Um, uh, so Kana, in the beginning, Kana was running from this guy that we didn't know at the time. Um, and he was chasing her just to chase her. Um, we know who it is. I'll explain a little later. But so Aki saw her running away, and he decided, I'm gonna step in and save her life, right? So, so Kana, I only need glasses to drive. So Kana is saved by Aki from this chaser. Let me see if I can find the page. But he saves her, and she sees a little girl in danger in the middle of the street. This is him saving her. So she tries to save the little girl, pushes her out of the way of the truck, and she gets hit. So Aki, who was walking away at the time, and she was actually trying to catch up to him when she saw the little girl. Um, he saves her life by biting her just enough to make her deathless and ageless, or ageless and deathless if you want to be technical. Um, so this is a scene here. Kana pushing the little girl out of the way of the truck. Um, it's a sad situation. People don't know how to react. They see the body. They're like, she's dead. But Aki's like, I got this shit, man. So he comes over and he saves her life by biting her and thus making her immortal. She can't be hurt. She regenerates when she gets hurt. So she's pretty like she's good to go in life. So as the story moves on, we learn more about the two of them, and uh, let me see if I can find the part where, yes, he explains to her that she is no longer alive. Now that he has bitten her, she is no longer alive. So that's an important part. She is no longer of this earth, but she is still technically, because she still has to go to school. She still has to take care of her brother. She does have a little brother named Masayuki. Um, that is a shut-in. He's a hikikomori. Um, we end up after he feeds on her. The chaser, the person that was chasing her in the beginning, this guy right here, comes back. Okay, so he comes back to, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do, but we find out that that guy is actually her friend from school, which is really awkward. Um, her friend Jin Shirane ni um is it's her friend from school who actually is the reason she lost her scholarship that she got to go to school for that school, St. Agatha, that she goes to. Um, he was playing with the lighter and he got a little too happy and dropped the lighter and it caused a huge explosion. And she has happened to be running by there during her training, and she had a leg injury that ended her career for running, and thus he blames it on himself, which is true. It is his fault, but she also blames it on herself, which is also another thing. This is a completely separate fire, by the way. This is different from the fire of um, Aki and his brother and Kana. Um, let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, we find out that Aki himself does not have a house. He's kind of homeless. So she ends up taking him in, and we find out that actually her parents are in Russia. Her father is some kind of, I guess he works in Russia, and the mother and the father left the children and went to Russia for work. So now in the house is just Kana and Masayuki. Masayuki she hasn't seen in a year since her parents left. Um, Aki, this is gonna be longer than 10 minutes because this is a very intensive story. I'm not even halfway through the first book yet, like literally. So Aki, let me move this down a little bit. Aki ends up moving in, and she tells Masayuki that Aki is a actually no, Aki tells him Aki tells Masayuki that he's from the ministry of let me see. Let me see if I can find the exact term that he used, but it was hilarious. I think it was like the Ministry of Shut-ins. But let me see if there's anything important. I'm glancing over here. Also, because Kana is his thrall, um, they kind of have to stay together because if he gets hungry, he gets into these moods where he literally cannot feed on anyone else except for Kana because she is his thrall, and if he feeds on anything else, then he breaks the rules, and thus he must die. And I will get into that very shortly. Um, I think I might make this two-parter, but I'm not too sure yet. Let's see if we can get through the rest of it in before 15 minutes. Let's see. So, Saint Agatha Academy, we find um, we find Ray, who is this is Ray, so keep base here. She's Kana's friend. Um, Ray is in the same class as Kana. Now we get a special guest here. Oh, actually, we find out that she can run now. She turned into the thrall, and she can now run. She's not, as you can see, she says there, I can run at top speed again. Now, yeah, that's what I was looking for that whole time because I am that lazy. So, basically, she can run now, and people see her running, and it becomes a thing. Um, but what also becomes a thing is this boy right here shows up at her school. Boy shows up at her school, ready to learn. Now, remember I said Kana and Aki have to be together all the time. This is why he's at her school. If he gets hungry, he needs to eat. So if she's at school and he's at home, it's not gonna work. So he's just like, I'll go to school. So he's in school now. Got a uniform by using hypnosis on a teacher because he's a thug. All right. So he cast a spell over the entire school, and nobody knows that he wasn't there the whole time. He made sure that people believe that he has been there. They know his name already. They know his whole backstory. They know that he's friends with Kana. It's ridiculous. And poor Kana's sitting there like the shit. But let's see if there's anything here. So kind of starts getting these like ill treatments a little bit after people find out that Aki is her friend. Um, so they start doing things like this to the poor child. They just dumped a whole bucket of water on her head from the roof. That's fucked up. Don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't nice. So Aki decides to be a little pervert in the situation. He's just like, seeing a girl all wet makes me really turned on. That's really gross. So first we're gonna move on from that because he's a pervert. Like literally he's like all for one, one for all, for Kana. Uh let's see. Um so now we have to figure out what's going on with Jin. Jin, poor Jin. Jin's a mess. Jin, this is gonna be longer than 15 minutes. I'm sorry. So Jin, but I'm almost done. Jin, we find out, has is a lunatic who has a stigma. The stigma is very important because that's the reason why Aki is here. Aki needs to collect the 7 stigmas. He has one. Yes, 7. It's like freaking Dragon Ball. But yes, anyways, he has to collect the 7 stigmas so that he can bring his brother back to life, or back to consciousness, because his brother actually is alive. He's just unconscious. Um, we find out that Jin actually has one of these stigmas, and Aki needs to kill him to get it. And Kana is not gonna let that happen. She's definitely not gonna let that happen. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. So Aki makes a deal. Uh, I mean, they meet up. Dude's going berserk downtown. He's losing his goddamn mind. He's beating up his friends, beating up random people, robbing stores and shit. Like he's going crazy. Um, he Jin is now in a state that he can't be really saved from unless he gets help from Aki. But Aki didn't have any intentions on helping him because he needs that stigma. But Kana begs Aki, like that's my friend, like don't do that, like don't kill him, right? Like she's like begging, 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 and he's just like, ah, bitch, I love you. So he decides that he's gonna do something that he really shouldn't do, and that's give him a little bit of his pure blood. Um, Aki is a pure blood vampire in this story, and that means that he has the strength and the power to stop the lunatic actions of being berserk. Now, the way he can do this is to share a little blood. So he makes the person bite him, or he bites himself. Blah blah blah. But yeah, Aki saves Jin by doing this, and a little somebody shows up called the dealer. The dealer is not happy. But before all this, poor Jin, uh, poor Jin. Let me show you what happens to poor Jin. Poor Jin, gets some new attachments in life. Jin is saved by Kana. This is the scene here. Aki saves Jin by bleeding into his mouth. Literally. It's all. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, it says here, if you drink a pure blood, you'll be able to control the lunatic high. I can totally read today because I'm totally normal. Once you have control, the stigma won't be able to drive you berserk again, which is awesome. Lit. Totally lit, fam. Thanks. But we find out that poor Jin got some ears and he got a tail. So, because he got the blood from Aki, his berserker rage calmed down, but his inner, or how do you say it? His latent bloodline comes out, which is a lycanthropy, I believe it is. Um, basically, he's a freaking wolf. But we're not gonna get into that. Which really explains his personality. His personality is kind of like he's a rough dude. Like he don't take shit from nobody. Um, but that's kind of what gives him his charm too, because he's a really nice dude, but he just like has a lot of anger problems. But that's pretty much book one of this. So dealer shows up. Just to end this right now, dealer shows up, tells him, "Boy, you done fucked up," and Aki's like, "Oh shit, who give a fuck?" So in the end, we find out that now dealer has to kill Aki because of what he's done. It broke the rules, and this ends book one of he. He's my only vampire. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time. Bye.